Hi everyone, Happy New Year! My name is Terry Reed. I write for Love Inspired Suspense. This month I am celebrating the new release of Secret Mountain Hideout, which happens to be my 45th book with Harlequin. This is the story of a woman who witnesses a murder and goes on the run. When the killer finds her, she must rely on a handsome deputy sheriff to not only keep her safe, but to win her heart. I'm a plotter. I like to have a roadmap guiding me along as I'm writing. So when I write a synopsis, it's very long and detailed, way more than my editor actually would like. So I try to trim down the version that I send in to her. But I like having that roadmap. But I do allow for detours. Sometimes the characters will do things that I hadn't planned, or something will occur to me that I hadn't thought of before, and I'll think, oh, that'll be good right here, let's do that. And then I have to figure out how to get the story back on track, because I like that very linear, this happens, this happens, this happens kind of plotting. So I guess ultimately I would say that I am both. I'm both a plotter and a pantser, but a heavier plotter than I am pantser. Well, it's changed over the years. When I first started writing, I did it a lot by hand on a legal pad, and then I would type it into my desktop. But I had little kids at the time, so it was easier to cart around a notebook or a legal pad to swim lessons and carpool line and dentist appointments. Then laptops came along, and I could drag that everywhere I went. So it eliminated that one step, which was great. About 2 years ago, I broke my wrist. And this process that worked for me for so long no longer worked for me. So I had to learn to dictate, which was a huge learning curve, but it was really a good lesson to, for me, to persevere and to stretch my mind and not just say I can't do it because it's hard, or I didn't think I could do it, but I could do it, and I'm doing it. So I've written the last 4 books by dictating, and that's been really great. One thing about my process that hasn't changed though is I'm very linear when I write. So I write from beginning to end. When I get to chapter 10, I usually stop and go back to the beginning and start reading and revising up to chapter 10, and then I can write the end. And then I go back again to the beginning and read the whole thing through to make sure that I've said everything up at the beginning that I have done at the end, and vice versa. So that's my process.